In the early 2000s, the UK government promised something bold in their future plans, such as offering sustainable communities, places where homes, infrastructure, services, and green space grew together. It was a vision built on balanced homes and healthcare growth, and green space development and democracy were the promises made. The agenda set out a simple principle: build communities, not just houses. Infrastructure would come first. Brownfield land would be used before greenbelt. Local people would have a voice, but in Longbridge, like so many other places around the UK, those promises have faded into the background. Communities were told they would be partners in regeneration, not passengers. But on the ground, in places like Longbridge, the reality has drifted far from the promise. This does not by any means imply they should not be free of criticism from their own failures, as they were meant to be the guardians of that vision. Instead, they've become its most fragile link. Years of financial strain, rising demand, and shrinking budgets have left councils with no money to build infrastructure, no power to challenge developers, and no capacity to enforce the spirit of sustainable planning. They are legally required to approve housing targets, but financially unable to deliver the services those homes require. It's not negligence, it's structural paralysis. Their priorities are simple: acquire the land, maximize return, and exit at the right moment. They are not accountable to local voters. They do not attend local surgeries. They do not queue at the GP or sit in traffic on Groverley Lane. Their decisions are rational from a financial perspective, but indifferent from a human one. And that indifference is felt most sharply in the communities brought to breaking point from the disruption this causes to their lives. The Sustainable Communities Plan promised infrastructure before housing. What Longbridge actually received was housing before infrastructure. It promised brownfield site first development. What Longbridge received was pressure to build on greenbelt. It promised community involvement. What Longbridge received was corporate-led planning. The pattern is unmistakable. Acquire the land, build the homes, avoid or delay infrastructure being put in place, stretching of services, pressure on green space, communities completely sidelined. And now, with the push to develop green belt at Groverley Lane and Nuthurst Road named Groverley Green Gardens, the pattern threatens to repeat itself. But this time it is on land that was meant to be protected. Green belt protection in England is built on a very clear set of principles which comes from the NPPF, National Planning Policy Framework. The policy sets out both the purpose of the green belt and the strict tests that must be met before any development is allowed. It states that the green belt's purpose is to prevent urban sprawl by keeping land permanently open. Its defining characteristics are openness and permanence. The 5 core purposes are stopping unrestricted sprawl of large built-up areas, preventing towns from merging into one another, safeguarding the countryside from encroachment, preserving the setting and special character of historic townsland, encouraging urban regeneration by prioritizing the development of brownfield sites before any plan to do so on greenbelt. So where does this leave this plot of greenbelt land? And what are the main arguments in opposition to reject any plan to develop here? Excluding the NFFP policy stating this should only be carried out in exceptional circumstances, along with the complete lack of infrastructure to support a growing population in terms of education, healthcare and policing. There is also a number of active housing developments taking place close to this at the West Works site on the Hay 38 Bristol Road South, and Austin Heights at the old MT Rover land site located off Loho Lane. Accompanying these is also the major redevelopment by Bloor Homes of the old golf course at Frankley Green of Frankley Beaches Road in Northfield, less than a mile from these locations, all being followed on this channel. This is well over 3,000 homes along with business space at the West Works amounting to 900,000 square feet. There is the bonus of bringing employment to the area. But with this will come increased traffic flow and congestion and further damage to roads already in a poor state. Higher levels of pollution and disruption will ensue. Add to this the risk of flooding and decrease in the value of existing homeowner properties in the area, with a national analysis of land registry data found that homes within half a mile of major new developments in rural or semi-rural areas saw an average price reduction of £7,000 in their properties, an equivalent to 2.7%. The only winners will be big business and the corporations who run them. Taking all issues raised in this video into its full consideration, there should be no plan to go ahead with the destruction of this land. Not only this impact on the local population should be the argument, but also the impact on wildlife and the ecosystems based here. Many people that I have not met directly have come together in opposition to this and don't want your poison plants to meet the Labour MP for Longbridge to put these arguments to them shortly. Attempts have also been made to contact Conservative councillors Adrian Delaney and Ron Storer. This has been on no less than 2 occasions, but as of yet no response has been received. This is just some other place to some people and doesn't affect them, however. As demand for housing continues, this could be a place close to you in the near future. Housing demand in this country is rising far faster than supply, driven by a mix of pressures. Young adults unable to afford deposits, people living longer, smaller household sizes, and population growth. The underlying dilemmas are simple. Developers need land to build houses. Contractors need houses to build. People need houses to live in, and to live you need space to breathe. Current projections suggest that if migration levels continue as they are, a significant share of future housing demand will come from this wider population growth. But the impact is the same for everyone. Rising rents, rising prices, and those 35-year-olds and under still forced to live with their parents because they cannot afford a home of their own. When councils cannot meet housing targets on brownfield land, the pressure shifts to the greenbelt, which leaves us with where we are now, a housing system that is failing the very people it was meant to support. If you are affected directly or have an interest regarding this matter, please use the comments section to express your thoughts, opinions, and concerns that I can raise at the meeting. Thanks for watching.